Today's video is another exciting video in the topic of the photoelectric effect. And for today's exciting video, we're going to be going over the stopping potential. I already made a video talking about the cutoff frequency and explanation of the photo effect, and also several other example problems that I made. You can link to those in the upper right-hand corner of this video. Before we get started, please don't forget, subscribe to my channel, get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. Click on the notifications button, give me a thumbs up, a comment, and don't forget to share this video. This is the photoelectric effect, and this is stopping potential. Well, you guessed it, that's right. It's called the stopping potential because it is the potential that is used for stopping the electrons. So the stopping potential is defined as the potential necessary to stop the electrons, our photoelectrons, with the maximum kinetic energy from reaching the collecting plate, otherwise known as the anode. So we're going to shine light here. We're going to get those photoelectrons to create our photocurrent, and they're going to be collected over here, and we want to measure the potential that is needed to stop those electrons. So I'm going to do a couple things in this video. I'm going to show you a little diagram here. We're going to go and we're going to look at the simulation from PHET simulations for the photoelectric effect, and then we're going to do some calculations for calculating the work function for a metal from the data that we get from the PHET simulation. So this is the way it works. We are going to take this metal plate and we want to know the work function. Generally, what we're trying to do when we do this kind of an experiment is we're looking to figure out what is the work function of this metal. Well, how do we do that? We're going to take some light, some photons of light, and we're going to shine them incident on this plate. Now that light, those photons of light, they have some energy, and that energy is calculated as h, Planck's constant, times f, the frequency of that light. Now, this is the incoming energy. If that incoming energy is greater than the work function, if this light has more energy than the work function, then we can overcome the work function, and then we will emit some electrons. Okay, those are our photoelectrons, and they're going to be used to make our photocurrent. And what we want to do first, so that we can figure out the work function, is we want to figure out how much kinetic energy do these electrons have. And we're going to use the stopping potential to do that. The way we do that is we're going to take these two plates and we're going to put a potential between those two plates. So we can connect these two plates to a battery, and we can make this plate negative. And we can make this plate positive. Now these electrons are negative because the photoelectric effect, we're emitting photoelectrons. These electrons, when they come off of that plate, they're going to have some kinetic energy. The kinetic energy is what's left over from here after we overcome the work function. We want to measure this kinetic energy. So when these electrons move across this space, if this plate is negative, then they're going to be slowing down. And as they slow down, they're going to be losing some of their kinetic energy. Where is that kinetic energy going to go as they move across that space? Well, that kinetic energy doesn't go anywhere, but it gets converted into potential energy. And if we set up just the right stopping potential, just the right amount of potential, then those electrons will come right to this plate, and then they'll move back in this direction. They will not be collected at the anode. They'll come right to the plate, and we will have converted their kinetic energy into potential energy. And if we know the potential across the plate, the voltage across those plates, that voltage which gets those electrons to stop right there is called the stopping potential. And we can use that stopping potential to calculate or to figure out how much kinetic energy they had. Then we know the frequency of the incoming light, the kinetic energy, and we can calculate the work function like this. So here is our equation for our energy conversion, conservation of energy. The kinetic energy is going to be equal to the potential energy. The kinetic energy over here will be equal to the potential energy over here. We calculate the potential energy as the charge on the electron, Q. We give it the symbol E because it's the elementary charge, 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19, times the potential, the stopping potential, and that will give us the kinetic energy. Then we can use our photoelectric equation, which says that the kinetic energy is equal to the energy of the light, which is h times f, Planck's constant times the frequency, minus the work function. Now I said the goal here is to figure out the work function. We know the frequency, so we can calculate the energy. Now we know the stopping potential, and we can calculate their kinetic energy. So that means in order to calculate the work function, it's simply going to be the energy of the light, the energy of the incident light minus their kinetic energy, which we measured with the stopping potential. Okay, so that's the equation that we're going to use. Now, we're going to go now, and I'm going to show you how that works with the PHET simulation, and then we'll do the calculation and use this equation or these equations or these values in this equation to calculate the work function of a metal. Okay, so let's go on now and go to the simulation. This simulation is from PHET simulation. They have excellent simulations for physics, chemistry, math, biology, math and sciences. Check it out. There's their website. Whether you're teaching or learning, they have a lot to contribute. So here we go with our simulation from PHET simulations for the photoelectric effect. And we're going to now try and figure out what is the work function of this metal, which I have set as sodium. Okay, so now this is the way this works. Here is our evacuated vacuum chamber. Here's the plate, the cathode where we're going to shine the light. Here's the anode where we're going to collect the electrons. Here we can change the intensity. I'm going to turn the intensity all the way up so we get as many electrons off of that plate as possible. Here's how we can change the wavelength and the energy and the frequency of this incident light. Here we have our battery. It's currently set with a voltage of 0, and here we have the current. You can see we have no electrons, so therefore we have no current. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to show only the electrons that have the highest kinetic energy. Those are like the ones that come right off from the surface, and that's how we're going to calculate the work function. Those are the electrons we're going to use to calculate the work function. Okay, so here we go. We are going to leave the intensity at 100%, and I am going to decrease the wavelength, increasing the frequency and the energy, and at some point, we'll cross the cutoff frequency like we talked about in the previous video, and we're going to start to get electrons. Now, what I want to do is I want to set this at some value, and I think I chose 209 nanometers. Okay, as the good. Now, it doesn't really matter which wavelength you choose, as long as you choose one when you're getting some electrons off of that plate. So now we can see that this light at this wavelength has a high enough frequency and a high enough energy to produce photoelectrons. And those are the ones with the highest kinetic energy. Now you can see if I click this off, I get all kinds, and some are moving slower and some are moving faster. I want to use only the ones with the highest kinetic energy, and they'll see when those start coming off again, they all have the same velocity and the same kinetic energy. And now what I'm going to do, you can see I have a current here. I'm going to change the potential, make this a negative plate, make this a positive plate, so that the current comes to 0, and you should notice will be the place where the electrons come right to that plate, but don't cross the boundary onto the plate. So you can see as I make that plate more and more negative, the current decreases and is decreasing. And I can see the electrons are still coming across. And I'm going to know that, okay, you can see it right at 320. They just reached the plate. And if I set this at 340, you can see they just reached the plate. And I got to go up another 0.2, and I go to 360. And you can see now that the electrons come right to the plate, but they don't actually get collected. And you can see that because here the current is 0. You can see if I set this back to 340, I lower that. I have some current. I want to have it no current, and the first place I have no current is 3,6 volts. That 3,6 volts is the stopping potential. That's the potential between those plates that will stop those electrons. And that means that those electrons, which have a charge of 1.6 times 10 to the minus 19, are moving through that potential 3,6 volts, and that means that those electrons have a kinetic energy in electron volts of 3.6 electron volts of energy. Okay? That is the kinetic energy of those electrons as we convert their kinetic energy from here into potential energy here. Here they have high kinetic energy. Here they have no potential. And here they have no kinetic because they stopped, and all the kinetic has been turned into potential. And that means that when they left the plate, their kinetic energy is 3.6 electron volts. Now we're going to go back to the presentation and we're going to calculate using that value and this value for the wavelength and this value for the stopping potential. We're going to calculate the work function of that plate. Okay, we are now going to use the information that we got from the simulation to calculate the work function. We figured out that if we set the wavelength at 209 nanometers, that the stopping potential that corresponds to that wavelength for our sodium metal, we can use that information to calculate the work function. And this is the equation we said we're going to use. The work function is going to be equal to the energy of the light, Planck's constant times the frequency, minus the kinetic energy. What's left over after that is the work function. Now, in order to do that, we have to calculate the energy. In order to do that, we have to calculate this in meters. We have to convert from nanometers, 209. We know that a nano is a billion, so 1 meter is a billion nanometers. 209 divided by 1 times 10 to the ninth gives us a wavelength in meters of 2.09 times 10 to the minus 7 meters. Now, we can use our equation, which combines two equations, that E equals hf and the C equals the frequency times the wavelength, to say that the energy is equal to, the energy in this light is equal to Planck's constant times the speed of light divided by the wavelength, and this is our wavelength. So I'm just going to plug those values in. Planck's constant 6.63 times 10 to the minus 34 joule seconds. The speed of light is 3.0 times 10 to the 8th meters per second, and this is our wavelength, 209 times 10 to the minus 7 meters, and that tells us the energy in that light in joules. When we use this equation, we get the energy in joules is 9.52 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. Now, we have our stopping potential is going to be in electron volts. So we're just going to convert this to electron volts because usually the work function is given in electron volts. Also, 1 electron volt is equal to 1.60 times 10 to the minus 19 joules. And that tells us that this wavelength of light in nanometers has this wavelength in meters, has this energy in joules, and has 5.95 electron volts of energy in electron volts. Now, we know that 209 nanometers corresponds to an energy in electron volts of 5.95 electron volts. We know that when we have those electrons and they move through this potential 3.6 volts, that their kinetic energy is just equal to 3.60 electron volts. Now, we can use our equation because we know the energy in electron volts. We know their kinetic energy, which we got from the stopping potential, and we can calculate the work function. Its work function is equal to 5.95 electron volts minus 3.60 electron volts, and the work function for sodium is 2.35 electron volts. I looked it up, and I think I saw that it was kind of a range of actually like 2.27 to 2.35 or 2.37. So that's pretty good for that simulation. They're pretty close. That is how we can calculate the work function for sodium using the stopping potential and the photoelectric effect. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please do all the following 4 things. Once again, subscribe to my channel. Get all my excellent physics, chemistry, and math videos. While you're at it, click on the notification bell. Get all the notifications from this channel. Next, give me a thumbs up for this video. Next, please leave me a nice positive comment. It helps me out a lot. And don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this video with all of your friends. Show them just how much you care. Thanks for watching. And that's right, we will see you in the next video.